Have you ever caught yourself saying, I know what to do, I just don't do it? If so, you're not alone, and you're definitely not broken. You're human. We all have moments when our intentions are solid, our goals are clear, and we still find ourselves skipping the workout, eating the thing we said we wouldn't, or promising we'll start again tomorrow. But here's the truth. The gap between knowing and doing is predictable, and it's fixable. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 strategies I personally use to show up even when I absolutely do not feel like it. They're simple, they're powerful shifts, and they're going to help you get out of your own head, get out of your own way, and get into action, because only action creates change. And let's get you into alignment with the healthiest version of you. So if you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of, I know what to do, but I just don't do it, this episode is going to hit home. Let's dive in. Well, hey there, diet disruptors. Let's get real. How many times have you told yourself over the years, I know what to do, I just don't do it? Well, I will argue most people don't know what to do, but even when you learn how the BS of the diet industry is not serving you and the BS that you actually need, like blood sugar, you still won't do it. I know this because when I first started out as a nutritionist, teaching people how to balance their blood sugar through food, it was life-changing for all of these women. I remember I started my first set of clients. I had about 250 of them. And within a year, every single woman fell off, even though they all told me, I cannot believe I do not have to count calories anymore. I don't have to count macros, and I am stronger and leaner, and I've lost weight, and I feel amazing. I don't have to track my food. They were like, this is what I've always been looking for. And yet they all fell off. And that's when I really got obsessed with success, because I am not the kind of person that likes to fail. I am like, no, how is it that I'm giving you everything you said you wanted and you're still not doing it? Well, there is a gap between information and transformation. There is a chasm between who you say you want to be and actually getting to be that person, right? And because I'm a behavior specialist, because I did that for 20 years before I became a nutritionist, when I realized what was going on, I was like, Carrie, you didn't put your behavior specialist hat on with these women. You gave them the information, but we know that just simply knowing is not going to mean doing. And even if it does for a short period of time, it doesn't mean sustainable doing. And so we are going to tap into why we do this, why we know what to do and we just don't do it. I mean, there was a phrase once that I heard when I was in school studying to become a behavior specialist. And they said, there are plenty of overweight, unhealthy physicians and crazy psychiatrists. And I was like, okay, just because they may know information doesn't mean they actually implement it in their own lives. And that's what I was trained to do. Getting people to change when change is hard. And let's face it, change is hard. Our brain doesn't like change. It actually looks at anything different as new. And new to our brain is scary. Seriously. Our brain doesn't like unfamiliar, different. And I always say, if you want something different, you got to do something different. But the problem with that is that we won't do something different if to our brain it feels different. Different is scary. And your brain doesn't know the difference truly between getting chased by a bear or that you are now trying to get healthy and go to the gym every morning. It's just simply new. New is scary. And when we are scared, we don't move. And it's sort of like a cycle because it continues to happen. The problem is we aren't aware of it. Self-consciousness is a disease. We keep comparing ourselves to others or compare ourselves to our former self or our younger self, but it's actually self-awareness that brings us health. And when we can be aware of the things that we're going to talk about today, like really, truly be aware that our brain doesn't like something new, it will fight it subconsciously. Like, let me give you a good example. Let's take the gym. it's January and you do the whole new January, like biggest time of the year. It's like the Super Bowl for gyms every January, right? And you swear you're going to work out this time. You're going to do it. So you start going to the gym. You wake up early, you set your clothes out, right? And you're like, I am going to meal prep on Sundays. I'm going to go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day. And I'm just going to be eating salads, kale, chicken. I am so motivated. New year, new me, right? Well, then what happens? Like January 3rd, we're like, nah. Well, first of all, I will say nothing magical happens in January. Nothing magical happens on any day. It's going to be a shift internally that actually makes sustainable change. But the biggest thing is that when we try to put all this new into our life at once, it hits us like what we say is like a ton of bricks. And your brain is like, whoa, there is a lot of change happening. So let's say you go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. You get up, you go, you feel so good afterwards. You're like, I'm totally going to do this tomorrow. And maybe you get up tomorrow and you do it again, right? And you're like, this is awesome. And then Wednesday, let's say it's like you've done it 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday comes and you go to bed a little bit later. You're a little tired. You're like, I already went 2 days this week. I'm not going to go again. I'll go tomorrow. And then something happens Wednesday night and you tell yourself, the gym is actually just kind of far away. If I just work out at home tomorrow, I can get done. I can pack the kids' lunch and I can get things done. So then you decide you're going to work out from home. But then on Thursday morning, like your kid forgets their shoes and you have to bring it to school and then you're late for work and you're like, I wasn't able to work out in the morning. Do you see where I'm going with this? We think it's our own willpower. It's our own issue. Like we don't have enough motivation. What is going on? But in all reality, it's your subconscious brain being like, whoa, 5 o'clock in the morning gym is not something we are used to. This is not safe. We can't keep doing this. New is scary. Scary means it must not be safe. So subconsciously, you start to question your decisions. And you start to convince yourself, rationalize with yourself and justify why you're not going to keep doing it. But you don't know it's happening. You don't. Let's say I'm grocery shopping every Sunday. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to have all of this in. And then it's like a really rainy day or it's really cold out. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the right shoes to go out in this weather. You know what? It's fine. I will get takeout tomorrow. I'll go to the little lunch place down by my office. And then Tuesday, I'll start meal prepping. These are the things that our brain does subconsciously. And if we don't actually understand it, we're never going to be able to deal with it. I call it I originally used to call it the cycle of self-sabotage. But in all reality, it isn't about sabotaging. It's about protecting. It's really the cycle of self-protection. Your body is so incredible. Like every time we're on a blood sugar roller coaster, we spike our blood sugar, it goes down so low, our body has to keep adjusting. And in order to deal with all the excess glucose that we put in our body because we either overeat, like we might fast all day and we overeat at night, we overdo it with carbs, we're not balancing our protein and our fat, whatever it is, every time we have this influx of glucose in our system, our body does something called glycate and a whole lot of things happen. But one of them is that our body can only store so much glucose. It stores it in our liver and our muscles, and that's it. And so what does it do with the excess glucose? It stores it in fat cells, which is amazing and also awful, right? Like you're gaining weight and you don't know why, and it feels like really, really, really sucky, but your body's trying to protect you. It's not sabotaging you. It's putting toxins into your fat cells to try to protect you. That's what's happening with what we would call self-sabotage. When our brain, our body, our being feels like we're doing something new, it feels unsafe. And when we feel unsafe, we need to protect ourselves. And so we protect ourselves subconsciously by justifying why we can't do this new thing. Well, that may kind of let us sleep at night because we justify not doing something in the moment, but over the long term, it continues to just eat away at our confidence, at our willingness to see ourselves as a strong person and our ability to feel success because we don't know it's happening. And that's why self-awareness is so important. So if we can get to that point in that cycle of recognizing that our brain is like, whoa, this is new, we can do a whole lot of things better and different. See, there is a difference. And I think when I teach this to women, I think this is a huge aha moment. There is a difference between self-care and self-comfort. Self-care is really not the facials, the manicures, the massages. Self-care is doing things for your being, for yourself that moves you forward in some way. It's showing up so that you can move in a direction of health. Self-comfort, comfort is comfortable. New is uncomfortable to your brain. So self-care, if you haven't done this on a consistent basis, will feel new and uncomfortable, and you will always go towards comfort. Self-comfort does not move you forward. It's easy. It's simple. It's familiar. It's comfortable. And so we need to differentiate between the difference between self-care and self-comfort, because if we don't, we will never look at working out as self-care. We will look at it as something, we have to do, with a mindset of feeling ick about it. Or we will look at it as optional and negotiable, where we can justify and talk ourselves out of it. Self-care moves you forward. And you can actually ask yourself, is this something that's self-care or is this self-comfort? Now, I have terrible neck issues. Like, oh my gosh, I see a chiropractor. And for me, a massage actually is self-care. I have to get a massage once a week so that I can care for myself. So I'm not saying that a massage or a facial or anything like that is not something that is a good practice to do, but it is pretty darn comfortable, right? And we will always lean towards the easy, the simple, the comfortable. You might feel like, working out this morning when it's really cold out and I could sit with a cup of coffee by the fire and read my devotional. You could justify that actually is like self-care in some ways. But in all reality, if you're giving up the thing that you know you need to do and you do this on a regular basis, you're not choosing self-care. Self-comfort is okay when you're not sacrificing yourself, your self-care on a regular basis. The exception cannot become the norm. So if you've been around for a while, you know I'm obsessed with ingredients that actually work with your body instead of against it. And one of the things that I am really obsessed with is elderberry. Elderberry has actually been used for generations. It supports immunity. And the thing is, not all elderberry products are created equal. That's why I only get my elderberry from Amelia at All Things Elderberry. They make everything in small batches. She's a mom. She cares about real, clean ingredients, staying away from all the artificial fillers and sugars. And my kids actually take it to college with them. When they run out, they're like, Mom, I need more elderberry. They never get sick. And if they get a little bit of a cold, it's like they make sure they just, really double down on their elderberry and they heal almost right away. It is amazing. They taste amazing. They're crafted with integrity and they are a staple in our house. So if you want to try it, you can get 15% off your first order. We will drop the link below. Use the code CarrieLapoli at checkout for All Things Elderberry. So let's talk about the strategies when it comes to actually showing up for yourself when you don't want to. How do you self-care? Self-care is supportive, but not comfortable. It comes from a grounded, aligned place. It will always move you forward towards the healthiest version of yourself. But it may not feel comfortable. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel familiar, your brain is going to just log that in as new. New is scary. Scary is not safe. Recognize that. Okay. Self-comfort is relief. Self-care is respect. So it's so true that although I will say most people don't know what to do, and I love being able to teach people about the BS that they really need, blood sugar, behavioral science, and belief systems. But even when they know that, most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because in the moment of a decision, when comfort whispers louder than our calling, there are 3 strategies that will help bridge the gap every single day. Okay, first. The first strategy I call identify your identity. You cannot behave your way into becoming someone you haven't defined. You can't be somebody that you aren't now. Who do you want to be? You have to know, what does the healthiest version of you do, say, think, and believe? If you're not actually doing, saying, thinking, and believing like that healthy version of yourself, there's no way you're going to become that person. You actually have to start doing those things before you feel ready. But what are those things? When I built my house, we had a blueprint. How do you build a house without a plan? How do you build a healthy identity without actually identifying what it is that that person does, how that person reacts and responds? Otherwise, you will just simply rely on your feelings in the moment, and your feelings will always take you to comfort. Your actions actually become a vote for the identity you want to embody. I'm going to say that one more time. Your actions become a vote for the identity of the person that you want to embody. So you can start thinking about actually writing this down during your morning time. If the healthiest version of me plans meals, I need to be planning meals. If the healthiest version of me speaks kindly to herself, you need to stop the self-criticism. If the healthiest version of you moves her body consistently, then you have to move your body. But if you don't identify who that person is, then it's always going to be a crapshoot. It's always going to be a crapshoot. When you clarify who you're becoming, your choices have a direction. It's like it's a GPS. It's telling you which way to go. It's not just a desire. It's just not a wish and a dream. It's got to be a plan. It's the only way I built my house. It's the only way you're going to build your identity as a healthy person. When I do events with women, I'm always asking them, what do they want and why do they want it? And so many women are they want to have peace. They want to have hope. They want to live a life where they're not always obsessing about food in their body. That's a great place to start. So what does a person that does not obsess about their body and food do, say, think, and believe? What is a person who loves themselves, loves her body, has a good relationship with their body? What do they say, do, think, and believe? And if you're not sure, ask people who you know who have that relationship, that strong relationship with themselves. What do they do? Just notice what they do. Those are really important pieces because feelings will drive your actions. But the problem is feelings change too quickly and they're so tied to comfort and fatigue. And so we got to get over that. That brings me to my second strategy. Okay. After identifying your identity, the second strategy in the moment, this happens to me multiple times a week, vision cast. So we often work on feelings. That's what we do. We don't feel like doing something, so we think it is excused not to. Our thoughts and our beliefs, they dictate our actions. And so it is hard to do something when you don't feel like it, but it's also hard to be weak. It is also hard to be sick. So at the end of the day, you got to pick your hard. And I don't want it feels hard, so I can't do it to be my MO. So because my feelings are fickle like a pickle, I always say that, and they're often tied to that comfort, we can honor how we feel, but in a bit of a different way. All right. So I work out at 7:00 every morning and I never want to, literally never, ever. I can't think of a day where I'm like, woo, I'm excited to work out. I have systems in place. So I get my clothes on right away, and it becomes like where it's sort of on overdrive right now. I go live in the morning on Instagram at 6:45 a.m. Eastern time. And then right after that, I go right down to the gym. My husband is actually downstairs setting up for our trainer to be able to Zoom in with us. It is a system. I don't ever want to do it, but this is what I do. I also get into the sauna at 8:00. I get into the sauna. I love the sauna. I love sitting in the sauna. It is like my little reward. So I picture myself at 8:00 sitting in the sauna, having worked out, or sitting in the sauna, having not worked out. You could also do this like in the office, right? What time do you get to the office? Let's say you're in your desk at 9:00, whether you've worked out or not. You're sitting at your desk at 9:00 in the morning, having worked out and having not worked out. You picture both. How do you feel if you had worked out? How do you feel at 9:00 in the morning knowing you went to the gym? And then how do you feel at 9:00 in the morning knowing you allowed self-comfort to rule and you didn't go to the gym? You can feel that feeling, right? So now you're going to act on the feeling that you know you are going to have, not the feeling that you have right now. It is an incredible strategy that works for me all the time. So if you really think about that and get yourself into the place of where you are going to be, you get to still act on your feelings. I just want you to act on the feelings of your future self, not your current one. It is a strategy that I've used for years and it works. Okay, my third strategy, I say it. Say it out loud. Have you ever had a dream and you it's so clear in your head, this dream that you've had, and then you tell your spouse or your kids or a friend what your dream was, and it's like, well, you're saying it out loud, and then you're like, well, I don't actually know how I got there, or I don't know. Like now I'm saying it, like none of it's making sense. It made sense in my brain. Right? Or if you thought something and you thought about it for a long time and then you said it out loud, you're like, well, it made sense when I was in my head. It doesn't make sense when I say it out loud now. That is real. This is where our behavioral science, our belief systems, everything all comes together. The right side of our brain is our messy side. It's our creative side. It's where those thoughts make sense. The left side of our brain is our solution-oriented brain. It's our problem-solving side. And it's like, this is how we figure things out, by using the left side of our brain. Well, what's so interesting about this is that there is a bridge from the right side to the left side. If you let things sit in your head and you negotiate with yourself, you do exactly what we talked about when your brain feels something new. You say, the gym is far away. I don't really have time to go. I'll just work out at home. You're not saying it out loud. You're saying it in your head. You're negotiating with that little devil on your right side of your shoulder, right? Sitting on the right shoulder. That's the right side of your brain. But the minute you say it out loud, it's like it walks a little bridge from the right side to the left side. This is why therapy works. This is why journaling works, because writing or saying moves it from the messy side to the more practical, pragmatic, problem-solving side of your brain. And so if you literally say out loud, you can say the thing out loud that you're negotiating with yourself. Like, yeah, I could just do it tomorrow. I'll just work out at home tomorrow. The minute you start doing that, your brain is going to be like, oh, girl, you know you're not going to. You can actually say all of this out loud. I am making an excuse right now for not going to the gym because I am justifying it by saying I could just work out at home. But I know myself and I know I won't work out at home. So I'm really making an excuse for it. Literally, that is a strategy. By saying the things that are in your brain and you say them out loud, it changes everything. I am walking to the cupboard right now to get a bag of chips because I am actually feeling really stressed and I know that chips make me feel better in the moment. I will probably feel like garbage afterwards, but I'm still walking to the pantry to get the chips. when you say it out loud, it changes how you respond. And I can't tell you how many clients are like, oh my gosh, as soon as I say it out loud, I realize that that impulse, that justification, that rationalization loses its power. It suddenly sounds ridiculous or unnecessary or misaligned with who I say I want to be. That's where strategy one comes in. Do you have an identity? Like, who is the person that you say you want to be? And then when you say those things that you're thinking out loud, you realize there is misalignment there. Your brain can trick you into silence, but it can't trick you out loud. And so those three strategies are one that's really, I use them on a regular basis. But one thing I will say is to remind you that you cannot, especially when you think about a new year, new you kind of a mentality, you cannot do all the things at once. Your brain will be in overload. It's like going 0 to 100. It's not sustainable and it's not safe. It's not safe for your brain. And if it doesn't feel safe, you will stop doing it. So the 1% at a time philosophy is always going to be your best bet. You're still going to be in some new situations that your brain is going to try to talk you out of, but you have such a better chance of winning if you're starting small and tricking yourself into believing that this is just what we've always done. Look, this is not that big of a shift. It's just a little tiny 1% shift. So if your self-care strategy is about moving forward at a 1% increment, then you won't ever get that far away because you're not throwing everything at it at once. And it's like going up a big roller coaster and then falling down real fast. You're just little by little, click, 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 going up and up and up and up. Little bits of self-care over time add up big. So I know what to do. I just don't do it. Doesn't have to be in your vocabulary anymore. Not when you identify your identity, when you vision cast your future feeling, when you say it out loud, but all of that is wrapped in high levels of self-awareness. And now that you know that what you think of as self-sabotage is really self-protection, you can intercept it before it totally derails you. So what is a strategy that you feel like you identify with the most? What is something you can start with now? What are you thinking about the difference between self-care and self-comfort? I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and put in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to give you content and support right from here into your own home so you can continue from wherever you are in your journey to have a place. Wherever you are, ready, willing, and able, I'm here to be able to help you every step of the way.